a way to keep Christians down. Did you know that? Satan has a secret weapon against Christians. And it keeps us down and keeps us bound. And it keeps us from being the joyful testimony of Jesus that we were created to be. And you know what? I think this number one of the most powerful weapons that we have against us is bitterness, unforgiveness. Did you know that? You know what? It is inevitable that you and I get hurt in life. I wish it were not so. I wish I could say, if you believe in Jesus, if you accept in Jesus, you will live a charmed life. You will never have any tragedy. You will never have any heartache. You will never have any bitterness. You will never have anyone hurt you or cheat you or stab you in the back. But the truth of the matter is, pain is an inevitable part of this life, and hurt people hurt people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hurt people, people who are hurt, go out and hurt other people. And this happens, and you will get hurt, and I will get hurt. I just got hurt. No, you and I will get hurt. It is part and parcel of life in this world. Well, how do we deal with it? How do we prevent from getting bitter? How do we prevent from resentment? How do we forgive as God has forgiven? This is key. If you want a victorious Christian life, if you want a life where you face the future unhindered, if you want a life where you make the most of what God has given you, if you want a life that is filled with joy and peace and confidence and victory, you and I have to learn this lesson. How do we forgive? When people gossip, when people stab me in the back, when people even unintentionally hurt me. Maybe they don't even mean to hurt you, but something happened in your past with your brother. Something happened in the past with your sister. Something happened in the past with your father or your mother, or your father ran out on you, or your mother said something that hurt you. You know what? That stuff hurts, and we carry that stuff with us for our lives. And if we are to live in victory, we need to be able to break these chains and these shackles. How do we do this? One day Peter came up to Jesus and he asked, Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Up to 7 times? Yeah. Why 7? Peter lived in a culture where they said, you know what, if someone hurts you, you can forgive them 3 times. And then after that, you can get even. Right? I can live with that. I can be patient once. I maybe can be patient twice. I can hold my breath and grit my teeth and bite my lip, and I can be patient 3 times. But then if you tell me, okay, after 3 times, Tim, you can get your revenge. I like that, right? And so what Peter is saying, Jesus, I'm going to impress Jesus, right? I want to impress Jesus with my spirituality. Jesus, how many times do I have to forgive my brother, right? He thinks he can impress Jesus. Up to 7 times? You know what Jesus said? Up to 70 times 7. 490 times. Right, I looked at that. Oh, that's not right, huh? 490 times, 70 times 7. What does Jesus say? Jesus saying is that you have to keep on forgiving. If you want to survive, if you want to thrive, if you want to be joyful and victorious, you have to keep on forgiving people no matter how many times they hurt you. You forgive. Jesus tells a story. Therefore, the kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. As he began the settlement, a man who owed him 10,000 bags of gold was brought to him. Wow. Who knows the price of gold today? How much is gold today? About $1,000 an ounce? $1,400 an ounce? Speak up. 1,300. More? Less? Okay, I don't know. It fluctuates. Okay, it fluctuates. All right? I've heard it up to 17. I heard it up down to 1,000. It's around that, but 1,300, that's about a good. Okay? 1,300, 1,400. 1,300 bucks an ounce. An ounce. This This man owed his king, this man owed his boss 10,000 bags of gold. What is that? Millions, billions? Right? He owed his boss maybe $4.5 billion. One individual. Since he was not able to pay, who can pay that? What mere individual can pay that kind of money back? The master ordered that he and his wife and his children and all that he had be sold to repay the debt. This is harsh, but it is reasonable. At this, the servant fell on his knees. Be patient with me, he begged, and I will pay you everything back to the last cent. The servant's master instead took pity on him, canceled the debt, and let him go. Do you see the picture here? Jesus is telling a story that illustrates this. There's no way this guy can pay his boss back, right? No possible way. He can live 1,000 lifetimes. He will still never pay him back. And so the boss knows that, the master knows that, the king knows that. And he says, you know what? Okay, you can't pay me back. I just have mercy on you. I forgive you. 10,000 bags of gold. Erase it. He doesn't owe me anymore. Wow. But when that servant went out, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 silver coins. Now, 10,000 bags of gold and 100 silver coins. You see the difference? Right? $5 billion and $100. You see the difference? Big difference, right? What does he do? He found a guy who owed him maybe $100, $200. He grabbed him and began to choke him. Pay back what you owe me, he demanded. His fellow servant. Now this is not, it's not a ruler and a servant. It's just two working guys. Okay? Two working guys. He says, pay back what you owe me. His fellow servant fell to his knees and begged him and said exactly the same words. Notice this. Be patient with me and I will pay you back. He refused. Instead, he went off, had the man thrown into prison until he could pay the debt. What happens? Gossip happens, talk happens. It's reported back to the master. When the other servants saw what happened, they were outraged, as they should be. And they went and told their master everything that had happened. When the master called the servant in, he said, you wicked servant. I canceled all that debt of yours because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have had mercy on your fellow servant, just as I had on you? In his anger, the master handed him over to the jailers to be tortured until he should pay back all that he owed. Now look at this. Everyone look up here. Every time I was taught this lesson, every time I was taught this parable, every time I even read it, I always overlook this passage. Everyone look up here. You may have never noticed this passage either. Okay? Wake up and take a look. This is how my heavenly Father will treat what? Each of you. Unless you forgive your brother or sister from your heart. I never saw that before. I never saw that before. All my Sunday school teachers, they never taught me this one. And I looked at it and I was like, what? You know, is it really there? Is that what Jesus really is saying? I thought Jesus was compassionate. I thought Jesus was merciful. I thought Jesus was tender-hearted and kind. Why would he torture me? Why would my heavenly Father torture me? But that's what Jesus says. This is how my heavenly Father will treat each of you unless you forgive your brother and sister from your heart. Well, think about it. Think about what happens when we don't. Who does it hurt? Yeah? Think about it. If, let's say, we go out. Let's say I go out with Hanwai, okay? Hanwai, all right? We're going, we're eating, we're talking, we're joking, we're laughing, we're having a good time. And then some new people come by, and Hanwai introduces me to his friends. And he says, oh, I want you to meet Tim, my bald and overweight pastor friend, okay? Now, he wouldn't really say that, but let's say he said that. Now, I'm the pastor. So I pretend that it doesn't hurt. I pretend that it's no big thing. I pretend that I'm not offended. But inside, what if I'm really offended? Right? Kathy nods, right? You understand, right? You know the feeling, right? In front of people, you don't want to look bad. You don't want to say, hey, I'm deeply offended, brother. Apologize to me, right? I don't want to say that, right? So I play it off. Right? I play it off. And I'm like, you're a funny guy, okay? You're so funny, okay? All right? If I don't forgive him, does it hurt him? No. That night, Han Wai is in bed and he's saying, I'm so clever. I'm so witty. I make everybody laugh, right? Does it hurt him? No! Who does it hurt? Me. I'm lying awake. I'm tossing and turning. I'm keeping my wife up. All right? I'm punching my pillow. That Han Wai. Right? If I don't forgive, guess who it hurts? It doesn't hurt the person I'm angry at. Who does it hurt? Katrina. It hurts myself. My blood pressure goes up, my heart rate goes up, my teeth get broken. There was a while I was going through, years ago, where I was going through so much stress, I had to keep on going to the dentist. Why? Because I kept cracking my teeth. Too much stress, too much anger, right? Too much bottled up inside. Who does it hurt? It hurts me. This is what Jesus is talking about. Jesus is saying, if you and I don't learn how to forgive, the only person it's going to hurt is ourselves. And if we want to live a victorious Christian life, we need to be able to forgive. Not 3 times, not 7 times, but 70 times, 7 times. Let's take a look. What is forgiveness? Sometimes it's easy to say what is not forgiveness. You follow me? When we describe heaven, none of us has ever seen heaven, right? Has anyone ever seen heaven and come back? No. People go to heaven, it's so good, they want to stay there. They don't want to come back, right? Okay, so when the Bible describes heaven, sometimes the Bible says, well, what is it not? Well, heaven is where you don't cry. Heaven is where you don't feel pain. Heaven is where you don't feel sorrow. Heaven is where you don't die. You understand? Let's look at forgiveness. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness is not. Number 1, forgiveness is not, everyone say it, denial. Everyone say it again, denial. They say denial isn't just a river in Egypt. Right? Denial. It is not pretending that the hurt doesn't exist. Look at this man. He's sticking his head, okay? His derriere is up in the air. He's sticking his head in the sand. He's like an ostrich. They say that when ostriches get scared, they stick their head in a hole. And if they don't see the danger, it's as if the danger is not there. One time I took my nephew, he's a big strapping, handsome young hipster now, but he was maybe 4 years old. I went with my dad. My dad and I, we were babysitting Grant. I don't know if you remember this, Dad, but we took him to the zoo. And my nephew had, even at his age, at 4 years old, he had this crazy fear of snakes. And so we went to the reptile house. No, I don't want to go in. No, I want to look at it. No. And then all of a sudden, he was like, okay, I know what to do. Okay, Uncle Tim, I know what to do. And you know what he did? It was the cutest thing. I picked Grant up. I held him up to the glass. There was a big snake right there. And you know what he did? Right? I'm okay, Uncle Tim, I'm okay. Because he couldn't see it, he wasn't afraid. Sometimes we do the same thing with sin. Sometimes we do the same thing with our own pain. You know what? I'm just going to stick my head in the sand and I'm going to pretend that it doesn't exist. There's an expression in Hawaiian pidgin, called no big thing. You know? You ever heard of that? Hang loose bra, no big thing. No big thing. Yeah, get it? It's like the Spanish phrase, de nada. It is nothing, right? No big thing, bro. Sometimes we pretend that the hurt doesn't exist. This happens often with men. Okay? Men, we want to be macho. We want to be tough. Okay? We want to say, you know what? It didn't hurt me. Don't worry about it. It didn't hurt. You can't hurt me. Right? But down deep inside, it's painful. Down deep inside, it makes a scar. Down deep inside, we don't forgive. But we just pretend. Listen, let's say you got a cat. Let's say you had a favorite pet. And your favorite pet cat got out and went into the driveway, and your friend came to visit you and rolled up into your driveway and ran over your cat. Okay? Alright? If you love that cat, that hurts. You can't just go out there and say, oh, you know what? It's just a cat. You know, it's got 9 lives. You know, right? You know, just pick up another one. If you love that cat, it hurt. And denial does not make the pain go away. Well, number 2, forgiveness is not denial. Forgiveness is not condoning a person's wrongful actions. It is not saying it's okay. You know what? A wrong will never be right. If a wrong has occurred to you, it causes pain, it causes grief, it causes agony, and just saying it's okay does not make it okay. We teach this to children. I find myself doing this to my children. Oh, Micah, it's just okay. You know, your sister, took your favorite toy. It's just okay. You fell down and scraped your knee. It's just okay. If the hurt is there, you know what? Forgiveness does not mean it's okay. Why do I say this? Because a lot of times, when people think about forgiving, they say, I can't. I can't forgive because the pain is too great. I can't forgive because what they did to me was wrong. Listen, if someone abused you, if someone deeply hurt you, if someone cheated you, if someone disgraced you, if someone really betrayed you, you can't just say, oh, it didn't hurt. You can't just say, oh, it's okay. It's not okay. And if you have to wait to say it's okay, then you can never forgive. Right? Because nothing, no matter how long you wait, it's never okay. Forgiveness is not avoidance. Avoidance is being afraid to deal with the problem. We don't like emotions. We don't like feeling uncomfortable. We don't like confrontation. We don't like saying, brother or sister, you really hurt me, so I'm just going to avoid it. I'm going to run away. Now this happens all the time. Everyone, look up here. This happens all the time. Dad goes to work. Okay? Dad goes to work. Boss is in a bad mood. The boss is in a bad mood and chews out the dad, right? Chews out the dad. You're lazy. You're stupid. You're incompetent. You're a worm. I should fire you. But the dad doesn't want to be fired, so what does the dad do? The dad takes it, right? The dad takes it from the boss. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I am a worm, sir. I am not worthy to breathe, sir. Thank you. May I kiss your feet, sir? Right? He takes it. But the dad does not forgive. So what does he go home? What does he do? When he goes home, he takes that on the wife. Right? I work and I slave and you make chicken. Every single night you make chicken. I make enough money for you to get some beef. Why do I have to eat chicken every night, right? He yells at the wife. The wife doesn't want to, dad's in a bad mood, doesn't want to yell back at the dad. The wife goes and yells at number 1 son. All you do is sit around and play video games. Alright? Video games all day long. Video games. Why don't you do homework? Blah, 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 right? Number 1 son doesn't want to mix it up with mom. He goes and picks on sister. Right? Pulls sister's hair. Right? Hangs up on her friends on when she's talking. No, sisters don't talk on the phone anymore. They talk on the smartphone. Okay, all right. Sister goes and picks on number 3, little brother. Right? Little brother has no one to pick on. Goes and kicks the cat. All right? The cat runs out of the house, goes out into the driveway, gets run over by a car. All right? And that's the chain. Remember the cat from the first? Okay. All right. That's the chain of unforgiveness. That's the chain of unforgiveness. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness is a gift that ends the pain. It is saying that I choose to release another person in order to bring an end to my own pain. You see that? Forgiveness is not given to erase the past, but to free up a future. Why can't we forgive? Because we're looking at the past. Listen, church, listen. Why do we find it so hard to forgive? Because we want to fix the past. We want to relive the past. We want to say, this person hurt me, I will never forgive them because they ruined my past. God is not interested in your past. He is interested in giving you a future. Let the past die. Take the Master's hand and live in the present and enjoy your future. For the Christian, you've heard me say it many times, the best is what? Always yet to come.